like you can admit not necessarily the whole powerlessness, but I am certainly powerless to use in moderation. And that's like a step one for Mary Beth, for me. And I love this part. You took a time to recognize your core strengths that you still had, even as you were using, that you still had some core strengths, and you took the time to recognize those. And I love that.
Yeah, it's funny because when I got sober, I had really sort of lost that connection to the Mary Beth who did well in school and all that. But I thought about it and I thought, who was I initially? Like, she's still in there somewhere, right? If I can reconnect to sort of my initial skills, my initial strengths, my initial personality, that will be to my advantage to sort of rebuild my connection to her. And so I did consciously decide to do that. And it was a really helpful technique in sobriety. It was sort of a reminder that there was a Mary Beth other than the way I had been living for the last 10 years. There's another version of me inside there. I just need to bring her out again. I just need to strengthen her and put her in the front seat, put her in charge, make her sort of the dominant part of me.
And in that pursuit, you decided to go back to law school again. How old were you when you went back?
39. I was 39. Wow. Yeah.
Okay.
And so I will emphasize, for the viewers, that when I got sober, I had this horrible resume, I had a Berkeley degree with good grades and a horrible resume. And so I didn't just leap out into a professional, high level job. My first job when I got home was part-time, temporary, low-level admin job, because that's really all I was ready for. I had to sort of build up my skills and to go to work every day. That was like new behavior. I wasn't doing that when I was using, and so I had to move forward. And so it was at 6 years of sobriety that I ended up going back to law school. And back, I had to start over. It was from ground zero because I didn't really do it the first time. And it was 16 years ago, so.
Oh, so none of the credits transferred 16 years later. No. Okay. You know what, though? It's really cool to me that you went back at 39, because I remember, and I wish I hadn't listened to this. Actually, now, like I said, I'm fine with it. But at 26 or 27, I thought about going back. I would have had to have been a sophomore, but with the ultimate goal of going to law school. And my roommate at the time was in law school, and she was 24. And she was like, okay, so that means you're going to hit law school at 30 or 31. That's a little late for a firm to pick you up later. They are going to look at that. And I was like, okay. And again, now I'm honestly really glad, because I love the path. I went into the fitness realm and now I do this and all that. So it's great. But you didn't listen to that. If anybody said that to you, you went in at 39, and obviously you got a job at a firm when you graduated. Did anybody care about your age?
No, there was some advantage to it. So I ended up at a big law firm when I graduated from Berkeley Law. I will say Berkeley did not take me back right away, because so I ended up going to Hastings, which is in San Francisco, and it's a good law school. Oh, I'm so sorry, but it's not a top 10. I don't have to stop. I moved the phone out into the other room. All right, we have to wait for it.
Okay.
Sorry, my husband started.
No, that's totally fine.
Into the other room, I guess the bass rings.
No, that's totally fine. We'll edit. I can edit that out. I have a guy that's a really good editor.
Good.
I'm surprised Tanky has it. There we go. Tanky is listening to the phone ring now too. Hi, Bubs. Just okay. Okay.
So I ended up going to Hastings in San Francisco, but then I was number 3 out of 400, and then Berkeley Law took me back, and so it was definitely a process of getting back to where I had been. But I will say, when I got sober at 32, because I was, I have 29 years of sobriety, but I didn't get sober at 32. I thought I was old at 32. I thought, oh God, I had wasted my education. I had really wasted every professional opportunity I ever had. I felt like, well, yeah, things can get better, but they can get this much better. I didn't understand that, at 32, there's still a heck of a lot of life left, and anything, can happen in those years. And so I had those same sort of feelings of, that I'm old and that I'll never catch up. And, and you just have to sort of work your way past it, as you did. I think what we both did was we just looked at what's sort of the right next step. Right. And it's not like, I didn't plan on being a judge when I got sober. I'm sure you didn't plan on being where you are when you got sober. It's always about, what's my right next step? What's the right next opportunity? But also in sobriety, we get to know ourselves better. So then we get to make the choices that we really want, not like some we think we should have choices. But now that I'm 5 years sober and I'm however old, what do I want now? It may not be the same thing we wanted 10 years earlier or whatever, or what we thought we wanted on day one of sobriety, because you get to know yourself and you have new experiences and new ideas, and you get to understand different interests and different skills and different aspects of your personality. So it's okay that we change our mind as we go through the process as to what we want.
That's actually a really good point in sobriety, because I do feel like that's what happened with me, is that I ended up being more right later anyways with once I was in recovery, because like, the girl that like really wanted to go to law school and all that stuff actually wasn't really that happy, and I feel much more connected me now, like, and so I you're right, in sobriety, even if we change our minds, like I don't feel like any of that stuff was a loss, right? I moved into what I actually wanted